Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's getting a chance to jump on in. Welcome to the webinar. Looks like we're just a minute or two past the hour. Sorry for technological uploading and making sure we're ready to go. Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty excited to be here. So it's actually been a while. I don't even remember the last time that we did a live webinar for everybody. So stick with me, bear with me as we get back into the flow of these things. I do a weekly call with a specific group that we'll talk about a little bit later. A little bit of a different scenario here, but I appreciate everybody jumping on tonight to spend some time with us. Now, our typical audience is the entrepreneur. I consider myself very much an entrepreneur, and just thinking about the world out there for those of us who are entrepreneurs. And I use that term a lot of times as the mindset, not necessarily the vocation. Are you an entrepreneur? Meaning, did you fire your boss and do you work for yourself? I mean, in terms of the mindset and the way you think and the different things that kind of make you the entrepreneurial DNA, essentially. I mean, you can totally work for someone else and still be very entrepreneurial. And that's really the group that I connect with. So I figured, hey, let's gather a whole bunch of those people in that group together. And let's talk about some things that are really making a huge impact for people, and specifically around habits. For those of you who are familiar with our business, familiar with me, that is our business. Habits is everything. I don't want to get too much into that because we'll get into the presentation here in just a second. I'm very much a visual person. So you've got the visual here of me. Hey, it's April 12th, 7:04 p.m. Mountain Time right now. This is not a recording. I'm here. Hey, glad to be with you. Super pumped. Do me a favor. I just want to make sure everything's working good. If you can chat me in where you're calling from, where you're connected to this webinar from, it would be great to get a couple geographical mental block marks there to see where people are at. And I want to just make sure that our chat system's working properly. So if you can do me a favor, over on the right-hand side of your screen, you should be able to chat in here and allow us to be able to see where you are calling from, or connected to us from. Oh, dang. Awesome. Philadelphia, Provo, Shreveport, South Florida, Hunter Valley, Los Angeles, Southern California. Yes. Independence, Missouri, Burlington, Kentucky, Akron, Ohio, Asheville, North Carolina, Lakeshore. Oh, sweet. We've got people from everywhere. Oregon, more California. Very cool. Some people live in their first name. That's awesome. Okay, cool. James, good to have you here. Bonnie, Cindy, Ryan, everybody. This is great. So cool. No, this is really fun. I really hope to be able to serve you all tonight in several different ways. So bear with us as we go through some great information, hopefully some things to make it worth your while for spending the time here with us this evening. So very cool. With that, I'm going to set the chat to private so that as they come through, they come right to me. I may not get a lot of opportunity to answer questions during the presentation, but I will stick around afterwards and answer any questions that you guys have after we go through that. So with that, I'm going to see if I can share my screen so that we're all on the same page visually. So bear with me just 1 second and pull this up. Here we go. Bam. All right. So we should all be looking at the same presentation at this point in terms of welcome and habits revealed and all that jazz to kick us off tonight. So what we're going to talk about today is how to find your habits. Okay. Most of them are in our thinking habits, our thought patterns. Okay. We don't even realize what we're thinking about all the time. I mean, we have 80,000 thoughts, conscious thoughts a day, and about 80 to 85% of those are the same thoughts we had the day before. They tell us a story. They shape our reality. They impact the emotions that we feel and the actions that we take, and ultimately the results that we create. I mean, we go on autopilot essentially when it comes to our habits, and it's like when we're driving or daydreaming and remembering how to get our destination. I mean, so much of our life is built around habits. So if we're going to talk about measurement, which the great management guru Peter Drucker said, if you can't measure it, you can't increase it. Without measurement, you have nothing. If we're going to talk about measurement, we're going to talk about ways to double your income. There isn't anything better than talking about habits. And we want to reveal some things about habits that we may not have considered before. Why is it important to find your habits? I'm going to be telling you about the very first domino that has to fall in order to make it all work. For some of my clients, a lot of my clients, it's not even what they thought it would be. The first domino to fall. Okay, so couple things in terms of my promise to you. As we go through this webinar today, I'm going to make you some promises right up front. Okay, I'll show you some of the reasons that some people can make more money doing exactly what they love, and some just can't seem to make it happen no matter how hard they work. Next, I'll show you how some people succeed in spite of cash flow. I mean, shrinking profit margins, the economy, huge debts, all these different things we hear about. I mean, some people fail because of it, but I mean, that's not something that we can hang our hat on. We've got challenging circumstances. Yes, a lot of us have been in really tough places. Many of us are in currently tough places. I remember it wasn't too long ago that I had a coaching client approach me, him and his wife, I'll keep their names anonymous, and they knew that they needed a mentor. They needed a coach. One of my favorite quotes out there, Albert Einstein, talking about how you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. And they knew, at least intuitively, that there was a shift that they couldn't make by themselves. But talk about a negative cash flow and debt and challenges. And as much as they didn't feel good about just the idea of debt, they came around to understanding that maybe a little bit more debt to be able to take this on would be worthwhile. So they went into even more debt to coach with me. It was not easy for them to find the funds. It was very difficult for me, if I'm being really honest, sitting on the other side of things, to allow them to take that on. I even tried to talk them out of it, making sure that they were really ready to do this, because their investment, their debt was not going to be my responsibility if they didn't do the work, if they didn't take this on, and they didn't listen to the steps and the foundations that I was prepared to take them through and teach them. So long story short, they figured it out. They got the money. Fast forward to after our coaching engagement. Okay, the wife of this person that I love dearly is a little introverted, not really out there. And now everywhere they go, everyone they see, she can't wait to tell people that seem entrepreneurially minded, like all of us, that you need to hire my husband's coach. He's making more money now than he's ever made in his entire life. That was so fulfilling, because we've got people out there that want to talk about philosophy and want to talk about things that can maybe make us feel good and different things. But when it comes down to the brass tacks, increasing income, finding success, finding our new buzzword of equanimity, that peace of mind, not everything calming down around us, but finding that calm deep within our habits to be able to take this on, even at that kind of cost, where I was scared for them, not just how they were feeling. They found it, they figured it out, and they did it. That's the kind of achievement we want to talk about today. That's what we want to talk about, the ability to take on and to do, okay? Now, quick little bonus. If you stay until the end, because I realize the entrepreneurial-minded attention span, I'm right there in that group. I'm the same way. But if you stay here in the end, which I don't plan on this webinar being a marathon, okay? We're going to stay inside of an hour, 45 minutes, somewhere around there. I'm going to do my best to stay in that. But please understand the limitations of information that can be disseminated in that short amount of time. There's many of you on here who know who I am, but there's many of you who don't know who I am. And by who I am, not just me personally, but our organization and what we do. And so building some of that foundational pieces is important. I want to get through this as quickly as possible. But for staying to the end, you're going to get something that until today, everyone else paid $300 for, okay? Provide a value to everybody here as a thank you that would normally be $300, okay? But I do need your attention. That's really important through this. I know we live in the world of multitasking as we go through this, but please turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. If you're an entrepreneur, coach, business professional, whatever, someone who wants to increase success and you're serious about multiplying your income, the next 45 to 60 minutes could change your life. So please, as you're trying to figure out everything else that you haven't gotten done today to be able to rock it at the end of the week with Thursday and Friday or whatever you've got left or things you've got to get wrapped up tonight, please bench it, put it on the shelf for the next little while, and let's talk about some things that could really make a powerful difference for you, okay? Now, here's the really painful part. So bear with me. Here's where I tell you about me. Okay? Because a lot of you on this call, we've got a lot of people on this call, record-setting attendance on this webinar, so maybe we should not do webinars for a while. I'm kidding. We want to do webinars pretty regularly. So like I said, bear with us as we're getting back into the swing of these things and working this stuff out. But there are a lot of you on here that don't know who I am. So just a couple things, okay? Summing it up, I coach the coaches, and I've worked with a lot of titans of industry in consulting positions, coaching positions, collaborative, strategic partnerships. That's where I operate. That's where I feel at home. I worked side by side with Jack Welch, who I consider one of the greatest, actually not one of, I consider the greatest CEO in the history of corporate America. Jack took General Electric from $14 billion market capitalization when he took over as CEO in 1981 to over $400 billion in market capitalization when he retired in 2001. Unbelievable individual. And I had the pleasure of getting to know him personally, getting an opportunity to spend time in his home and in business calls and emails and staying in touch frequently as we decided to disrupt the market of the executive MBA. And then also, I'm the president of the Mandino Leadership Institute. I'm the acting director and work here front-facing with our clients. I don't just sit up in an ivory tower and handle operations, strategic partnerships, and just try to sound like I'm really important. That's certainly not what I do, and that's not what any of the leaders here do. It's actually a standard expectation or requirement to be front-facing in the trenches, coaching. You are not an executive, you're not a director, you're not a major part of this team without having coaching clients, having your ear to the ground, your ear to the heartbeat of what's really going on out there. And it's one of my greatest pleasures as the president of the Mandino Leadership Institute. And as an organization and myself studied habits and their effects on people's performance for decades. I've been a keynote speaker at many entrepreneurial events, corporate events, everything from Boeing to network marketing to private groups to all kinds of different organizations that I've had the opportunity to work with. And it's been such a pleasure. And a lot of my work is not done in large fanfare and major promotional events. It's done behind the closed doors in the trenches at specific events that a lot of people don't hear about, because the people there are definitely a very elite audience. And then just to throw in a little bit cap, I generated a six-figure income at 22 years old as a fresh new entrepreneur. So I came into entrepreneurship ready for it and ready to take it on. And a big reason is because I came into it with the mindset of habits. For those of you who don't know, my father is the CEO of the Mandino Leadership Institute. And so this is where I built my foundation, is on habits. That's the basis of the greatest salesman in the world. What Mandino talked about, the way he rocked the world almost 50 years ago, to say, it's deeper than that. It's more than that. It's habits. Okay, what does that mean? Well, and it's turned into interesting platitudes and different things. And, a habit should be this, habit should be that. Habit takes this long to develop and that long to develop and whatever and whatever. We're talking about things on a much deeper scale tonight in a few of these areas. Now, my journey has not always been a pretty one. Yeah, granted, this last bullet point, I jumped out into entrepreneurialism after working at a credit repair law firm, they were a great company to work for. I helped them develop some high-end clientele programs. Didn't get much credit for it. Asked to work on the customer service floor and said, all right, see ya. I'm out. Pretty sure I blasted Bon Jovi's It's My Life on my way out. I got that inspiration from a friend of mine who did the same thing. Bought pizza for the whole place, and I was gone. And it was time for free enterprise. Well, I learned a lot of tough lessons, some of them the hard way, some of them the way I don't recommend that anybody learn them. But it's interesting how our dark nights shape us. I created a lot of success in real estate, but I was also riding a massive wave. A lot of us were there. 2003, 2004, 5, 6, 7, then we know what happened. I lost it all. It was gone. Just about lost it all, like all caps, all, like my family, and the things that are most important to me. It was a really interesting experience. I'll never forget. I apologize for getting a little personal on the webinar, but I'll never forget feeling, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but for me, I do believe in God, and I'll never forget hearing clearly, you can try and save your business or you can save your family. You don't get to save both. I didn't hesitate in the decision. I can't say it was an easy decision because I obviously had a lot invested in unhealthy habits of thinking that got me into this position anyway, want to pull me a different direction, but I didn't hesitate with the decision. It was a long haul. It was a long haul to rebuild myself, to rebuild my habits, to go back and retrospectively look at to where they got off track, where they went somewhere different. Because that's something we'll talk about, a little foreshadowing for you, of finding where things went off track. Because if we're so lost in our habits and we just are looking for the next turn, next right turn, the next left turn, thinking that then we're going to be out of it. No, some of us need to wipe the slate clean and start listening to our own internal dialogue a little differently. And that's what I did. It led me to going back on some things I felt pretty strongly about. One of them was school. I used to speak out on stages across the country about not needing to go to college and whatever the case was. And it was immature. The things I learned from going back and finishing my degree, actually following through, the commitment, the discipline, when it wasn't very fun to do it. Because at that point, I was a very busy professional taking care of my family, even harder at that point. But I'm really glad that I did, and it led me to working with Jack and eventually brought me full circle to come back here to this organization as a valuable partner to this company and led me to being here with all of you fine people tonight. So that's my story. Longer than I wanted it to be, more than you needed. We'll move on. So here's some fun questions to consider in terms of imagining what your life will be like when you have more money, when you're doing what you love, and you never have to worry about, been there, done that, begging for clients, generating consistent revenues. Consistent. Oh, just say that with me. Consistent. Consistent. How many different things are we seeking in our lives that if we got to throw the word consistent in front of them, not that we haven't experienced them, not been there, but if we got to throw consistent before them, it just feels so nice. It's like putting peanut butter on nice, soft bread, just that smooth, comfortable feeling. All right, I digress. Disorganization and unnecessary chaos. How often do I run into this as a coach? Man, I've got a lot of people that come to me as clients where their chaos, unnecessary chaos, I want to be specific about that, and disorganization has a standing appointment on their calendar. So many of them daily, if not multiple times a day. What if your life, your intentions was no longer the currency of your bank account? Now, I say that somewhat in jest, but I understand for myself at times in my life that would sting to hear. And it may sting for a few of you, but how many of us are banking on intentions? How many of us are hoping to be able to cash in those checks someday and wondering how long we can survive while they're bouncing? What will life be like when you know how seemingly effortless? I want to be careful with this because effort is absolutely necessary. There's a reason Og talked about, today I begin a new life. I'll greet this day with love in my heart and then get it. I will persist until I succeed. Effort, grit, drive. That's so important. Why it says seemingly effortlessly is because it won't seem as consciously taxing as it was in the past to get to the next level of success and income. What would that be like if you had the capability to say, all right, it's time to go to the next level, and your habits supported that? How about when you really know how to master your habits? Because that's what happens then. Would that make a difference for you and your family? Would that make a difference for your state of mind, for your stress levels, your blood pressure perhaps? Would that make a difference for the way you would be able to show up for those that matter most? Simply put. So, this is important. I've got to cover this. Results are not typical. I've seen a lot of phenomenal results as a coach from our organization. When you go where we go and you do what we do, it's impossible not to see phenomenal, late night, feeling fake infomercial type results where you roll your eyes because it just sounds too good to be true when they worked harder than you wanted it to be true. Okay, the results may not be typical. I'll walk you through the system we're using to get Some of the great results I've already referenced, like that couple that I worked with, some of the other ones that we'll reference as we go on. But please understand, my results are not typical. I get that. The average person who attends any training gets 0 results. I don't mean to throw that out there as depressing. I mean to throw that out there hopefully as a message of integrity, that a lot of us just aren't ready to go this deep. A lot of us aren't ready to take this stuff on. We're hoping for something that's going to have us feeling a certain way, and I'm going to cut myself off right there because that's part of what we're going to be talking about tonight. But I get it. These aren't typical. I'm happy to share with you tonight for free exactly what's working for me and what's really making an impact for our clients. That's what we're going to talk about, but it's not typical. These are not easy ways to do things. This is not get-rich-quick stuff. This is not for the get-rich-quick people. And it's funny how often I hear that term used by people who don't even realize that they are programmed as what the world would view as get-rich-quick people. There aren't a lot of people left that will cognitively say, I'm looking for get-rich-quick stuff. But some of us are unconscious, a lot of us, I should say, are unconsciously programmed in that way. This is not for work at home biz op people or amateurs. These are people who want to run a business, want to create success, want to develop the habits that will allow you to gain ever increasing levels of ability to handle ever increasing, perpetual, ever increasing levels of stress and responsibility with ever increasing levels of confidence and ease. The kind of ease of when things start to come naturally to us, where we see other people and go, man, how do they operate that way? That's so foreign to me. That's what we're talking about tonight. So what we'll cover, secret number 1, how to shift the bad habits that are sabotaging prosperity. Simply put. Secret number 2, understanding the first domino of success. I love analogs. I love to compare things to stuff that we're familiar with and analogies and everything. And as I was thinking about the preparation for this webinar, I started seeing rows of just infinite dominoes. And we want to talk about that first domino that we tip. And remember, it's not just about tipping that first domino. If it's out of place and it doesn't hit the next domino, what was the point? So getting back, hitting the reset button, that canvas, we'll talk about that in secret number 2, okay? So how to shift the habits that are sabotaging your prosperity. Secret number 1, okay? First, most entrepreneurs, coaches, et cetera, people who want increased success and income think the best way to make money and be more successful is just to work harder. Now, how many of us are sitting there right now going, well, yeah, but I don't think that. I realize that it's working smarter, and I realize that it's working smarter and harder. I realize that there's a lot of caveats to that. Well, cognitively, we can be in a pretty good place. But if you want to talk about the kinds of organizations that shape habits, it doesn't get much more intense or effective than the military. The military, they're experts at creating habits. And in the military, the habits you create move so far beyond cognitive function. If you sat there, for a lot of us entrepreneurs, and watched the way the drills and the boot camps, and many of us on here have been through those and served in the armed forces, and thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for your service to this incredible country of ours. Thank you for your sacrifice and for everything that you do, and those of you who are in families of people who serve. So thank you. Honestly, we can't say that enough and keep that top of mind. And as you think about the military and creating these habits, if we watch that, it feels so repetitious, so boring, like they're training robots. No, quite the opposite. I've been doing quite a bit of studying recently on the way that they train Marines. And actually being able to think for themselves is a pretty important part of being a Marine. I've got a nephew of mine who is on his way into the Marines here soon, who is just an amazing human being, and thinking about the service he's going to be to that organization, the habits he already has as a disciplined, hardworking athlete, a wrestler, and the ways that he's going to be able to take on the way he studies everything. So we think about habits, we think about the military. And if we were watching this, it would feel so repetitious. Like, what are they doing? They get it. I get it. I get it. Well, there's one of the challenges right there is we stop at I get it, because it's not work harder. It's how do you shift the habits that are sabotaging your prosperity beyond a cognitive level, beyond your conscious awareness. Because too many of us, this is secret number one, too many of us go until we get it. Okay? That's a challenge. We're short selling ourselves right there every time because we rely so much on our conscious awareness. Remember, we're talking about those 80,000 conscious thoughts that we have every day, and 80 to 85% of those being the same ones we had the day before? Well, guess what? We have millions of unconscious thoughts every day. Millions and millions versus 80,000. You are outnumbered. This is what Og was talking about in scroll number 1. Talking about reading them. He gave us a basic, beautiful, simple, powerful outline. Reading the scrolls for 30 days. Why? In principle, not because that's the only way to do it, but because doing that moves it beyond the I get it phase. He even talked about it moves into our other mind. The mind that makes us act in ways we do not comprehend. So secret number 1 to revealing and finding your habits is making the commitment to move beyond the I get it phase. Because for a lot of us entrepreneurs, if we jumped into the military today, that kind of system, the first day we'd be like, okay, I get it. But then the next day would be very similar. Oh, geez, I get it. Next day, I get it. Next day, I get it. Why? Because they are preparing for battle. They're preparing for intense situations, for just unspeakable variables. At that time, I get it, doesn't cut it. Period. It's no different for us as entrepreneurs. And I'm really excited and passionate right now. I hope I don't sound angry. I know I have a big, loud, low voice. And when you meet me in person, I'm 6'5", 330 pounds. I get it. I hope I don't sound angry, because I'm not. I actually love this stuff. Volume for me just kind of got tied in with passion a long time ago from different things that I used to do in comedy improv for a decade and theater major. Yeah, well, we could talk about that another day. So, but for entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants, why is it different? Why do we feel like we hit the I get it phase and move on? And then wonder why that fails us in the time of battle in our lives. You want to see a system for creating habits, and the context that we can provide to that here, it's making the commitment to move beyond the I get it phase and moving into the unconscious. That is not easily done. That takes consistency, not constancy. We don't want to have expectations of being constant, because a lot of us entrepreneurs can see ourselves in our mind as the perfect entrepreneur, and then we don't show up that way. And it's like, oh, damn it. But that's just a reality. It's never going to be as good as it is in our minds, but it can be a sure of a lot better than it is right now in our current reality if we will commit to moving beyond the I get it and commit to figuring out how to shift our habits that are sabotaging our prosperity, because you can't get that deep if you don't have that kind of commitment. Otherwise, you're going to be on another webinar a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and you're going to be like, I get it. Yep, I get it. All right, when's he going to get onto the strategy? When's he going to get onto this and that? No, we're right back at the trailhead right now. We're right back at saying, all right, here's the path you chose. How's it working for you? Some of us, let's be honest, okay, good. You just subtle calibrations. Just move a little bit this way. Take this next trail. For some of the others of us, and I was at this point in my life more than once, so turned around, so lost. It was time to go back through the Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs. Hopefully we left some, and get back to the trailhead and realize what we're in for and understand the critical decisions, understand the mile markers of how to get down this path progressively. Because if we flew up in a drone and looked at the path we've been on, it goes in a circle, just this perpetual circle. And we keep ending up back at square one. And this is the first secret. is that we may not be committed to moving beyond the I get it. It's not just our cognitive understanding. Of course, we can't possibly tap into that in 45 minutes tonight, but becoming aware of it is so important. Are you committed to moving deeper into the things where you're sitting there reading a scroll, following the principles we coach our clients on for weeks at a time and going, okay, I get it, Paul. I get it, Paul. I get it, Paul. My clients go through these things, and then all of a sudden it starts to click. All of a sudden, they're showing up differently on the front lines of battle in their life for success and multiplying their income. Those are people who understand secret number one. Okay? Harnessing your power of habits. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. It all comes down to habits. It all comes down to being able to shift these things, to be able to create these kinds of results. Because like I said, the odds are against our cognitive mind. If you're 40 years old, your unconscious mind has been learning and evolving and training for over 20 million minutes. And reading a book is going to battle that? Just a book? Or just a webinar? Yeah, even just this webinar takes a lot more than that. And consistency, that smooth that we want to put in front of what we're looking for, consistent income, consistent the time management, consistent peace, consistent fun, all of that stuff. That consistency starts with this commitment. It starts with digging deep enough into the thought patterns that are developing and fortifying our habits, and realizing that to take those on, these things that Hawk said a little eerily, never sleep. They don't sleep. We do. We need to. Our cognitive mind, our conscious awareness shuts down as we go to sleep, but our unconscious mind continues to process, continues to defrag, continues to improve, whatever, depending on what it's being supported by. So make the commitment to move beyond the I get it, and you have now grabbed a hold of secret number one. Now you're prepared for so much more, putting good habits to work and harness them for increased success. Because many of us just didn't stick to it long enough, or repetitive enough, or focused enough, or on the right levels. Because the other caveat to secret number one, and I wasn't planning to go this deep tonight, but I feel it's important for us to cover it, is there is a scientific order to habits. There are three basic levels to where our habits lie, the DNA that constructs them, okay? And they are the intrinsic, the extrinsic, and the systemic. We don't have time tonight to go over all of these in great detail. But please know, when it comes to secret number one, there's far more behind it than just stick in there, okay? It's making the commitment to moving beyond get it, I get it. After that, it's making sure you've got the right tools, the right principles, practices, and processes to understand the universal scientific order, not ethical order, not moral order, scientific mathematical order of habit. And how when any of those get out of alignment, you're talking about 6.4 quadrillion variables of our habits here, by the way, in case you're wondering why it's been so tough for you to take this on. Give yourself a break, okay? 20 million minutes of evolving and studying, 6.4 quadrillion variables. No wonder, right? But that's why we're starting tonight, to commit to go so much deeper than just, I get it, okay? Secret number two, understanding the first domino of success. As I talked about, once that domino is tipped, everything else moves so much more naturally. Some of us have tipped that domino. It just may not have been in the right position, or the next domino may not have been intuitively set up. Being able to do that is so important when it comes to our habit number two. So, our secret number two, Number one, uncover the specific thoughts that are driving your success and your failures. Well, some people would say, well, that should be secret number one. No, okay? Because once you've uncovered them, if you haven't committed to move beyond the I get it phase, then you're just going to go, oh, yeah, okay. Okay, I get it. Yeah, that's me. That makes sense. That's totally what happens to me. So, there is so much more to understand, so much more to uncover. There are layers to our awareness. Because secret number 2 is not just about the awareness, it is about something specific. Write this down. Executable awareness. That's what we're looking for. It's not just awareness, it is executable awareness. You don't just uncover the specific thoughts. You don't just, uncover what's driving your success and your failure and go, I get it. But you also don't just move beyond that and go, all right, well, now I'm more aware of it. Cool, that should help me. No, find the level of executable awareness to be able to do that. Because most people, and here's why they don't find it. Okay? Because they're still in that cognitive consciousness area. Just as long as that's appeased, I'm good. Because most people who want to increase success, they think, again, this is think, and I'm talking about subconscious think here. That's why these are bold and italics. They think that more will make them successful. More what? More money, more time, more ability, more talent will make them more successful. Oh, man. That is the if-then lie. Secret number 2 is understanding how to align that first domino. That first domino is executable awareness. When we tip that domino, whoo-wee, it is fun to watch what happens with our clients, what happens to their successes, what happens to their incomes, what starts to be unleashed. I've got a client I've been working with for quite some time who is just going through some tough things at home and is finally showing up the way he wants to consistently at home. And now we're taking on his business. And because of that equanimity, that peace, because of that, those layers, we continue to pull back and continue to pull back. He's seeing his work as a completely different animal. It's fun to take on challenges now. It's fun to create more income. He's added more high-powered, incredible members to his team in the real estate profession in just the last little while than he has for quite some time. It is so cool to watch that happen. It is so cool to watch him commit to move beyond the I get it, and for him to be able to watch that impact his family and now impacting his business with real, tangible results. Why? Because he stopped thinking that more is what was going to make him successful, because it was impacting so many different areas of the way he was showing up. He had bought into the if-then lie. If I could have this, then I would be this. If I could do this, then I'd be able to have this. If I could just get this, then I'd be able to feel like that. Oh, man. Look at that bold and italics think right there. And think about it. Okay. But really, think about it. That think is the unconscious. If this wasn't true for us, then our dominoes would be falling. If we were really committed to driving our actions beyond our cognitive thoughts, to find that consistency, like secret number 1, and we really started to pull back the layers, and as we become aware of the thoughts that are driving our success and our failures, and we start to uncover some of the ways we were thinking that we didn't even realize we were thinking. I hear it when I talk to my clients. And in a lot of cases, I'll stop and say, did you hear what you just said? Well, that's not what I meant. I say, yeah, I know that's not what you meant, but that's what your thoughts meant. That's what your habits meant. And boom, the light bulb starts to go off. They start seeing some of those subtle hints where the camouflage of their habits that were driving some of their challenges, their failures, kind of revealed themselves for a moment. Now, consciously, they were able to rationalize, well, that's not what I meant. But in battle time, when you're on the front lines, when you're in the heat of deadlines and figuring things out and the stress of life and home and everything, those little glimpses are what show up as your modus operandum. Those are what show up as the way you function. That is why the military takes it so far beyond, I get it, to where it becomes automatic. It becomes a true habit. And that domino will not fall and hit the next one if we have bought into the if-then lie. If we continue to believe that it's about having something more, getting something more in order to be something more. Og said that weak is the person who allows their thoughts to control their actions, and strong is the person who forces their actions to control their thoughts. That's secret number one. Secret number two, to being able to drive where we want to get to and what we want to create in our lives. If any of you are checking out right now, please, I hope that it's because you've already figured this out. And you're like, this is good stuff, man. I've got things to do, but you've reaffirmed with the journey I've already taken. Great. That's awesome. If any of you are going, all right, when are we going to get to the real? This is the real stuff. And if you continue to find any kind of hamster wheel in your life, it's because this stuff is going on underneath the surface, which makes my job really hard because consciously you're sitting there not feeling like this is what's going on. And there are depths and channels and subtext to all of this that we don't have time to go into tonight. But if you're feeling the things that I've been talking about for people that think this way, it may be time to surrender and realize your unconscious thoughts have you outnumbered millions to one. And this is time to take a stand and realize some of these things, starting with even these two simple yet powerful and profound secrets to being able to reveal our habits. So, let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying the webcast so far? Okay, I hope so. I hope this has been worth your time because we just covered two very, very deep principles, very important parts of what we're doing here, okay? So we've covered secret number one, how to shift the habits that are sabotaging our prosperity. How do we do that? We commit to moving beyond the I get it. Well, how many of us started reading scroll one and didn't make it the 30 days or whatever? And I know there's probably a few of you on here that have. I know a few of you that have actually pulled that off. It's awesome. And you understand, you get this, the I get it phase after the fact. You get it when you wake up with your face in the pillow, not feeling like getting up, going, I will act now. I will act now. Like it just happens unconsciously because you have drilled it. There's a reason they call it a drill instructor, okay? You drilled it beyond your cognitive, your conscious, I get it. That makes sense to me. And you continue to beat against that brain of yours that is built to keep you safe. It's one thing I forgot to mention in secret number one. Your brain is not built to stretch and grow. Did we know this? I hope so. That's why it's so hard to do. That's why most people aren't as wildly successful. Because you're working against your neurology that is built to keep you comfortable. It wants your life to be predictable, whether it's painful or not, uncomfortable or not. It wants it to be predictable. It does not like variables, stretching and growing. The reason to commit to moving beyond, I get it, because consciously we can grab onto just about anything. But then it seems to fall through our fingers like water when we go to apply it to our life. Or maybe it's a little more like sand, so it lasts a little longer this time. But then things get crazy and stressful when we're on the battle lines, battlefront, and it happens again. So that's what we've talked about today. Secret number one, that commitment to move beyond, I get it. And secret number two, understanding that first domino of success. A lot of us knew what it was, awareness, but now you know it is executable awareness. And now you know that to tip that, and if you tip that first domino with an if-then mentality, it's going to miss the next domino. And it will continue to miss the next domino. And it will cause frustration. And it will leave us broken, and angry. Those are the two secrets. So, who wants to take things to the next level? Go in the chat box and put, I'm ready, if you're ready to take things to the next level. Okay? Go ahead, type it in. If you're really ready, if you are, oh, Paul, that's elementary, that's silly. No, really. If you can't do that, then what are you going to do? If you're ready, put it in the queue. There we go. Okay. Awesome. I like it. Good. So, next level. Covered two secrets in, wow, time's flying by, in as quick amount of time as I could. And we'll wrap things up here pretty quick with a couple really important, powerful things as well. So, let's talk about the Power Sessions coaching program. You want to dive into those two secrets? You want to learn how to really take things on and to be able to do so at a tremendous level with the clients of mine that are doubling, tripling, 10xing their income, being able to show up better for their family, for their children, showing up better as they're finding out ways to finally go out on their own and build their own business, or how to take that business to the next level. Whatever the case is, Power Session Coaching is all about you. That's what it is. It's about helping you make more money doing what you love. Because it's not just about doing what you love. It's about understanding these principles and the habits that are trying to sabotage you from making money doing what you love, and how to be able to have that work for you, and how to achieve business success even within the first week. The feedback I get from Power Sessions is off the charts. It's one of my favorite things to do because it's such a concentrated, power-packed, sometimes kicking your butt kind of experience that people generally see results first week. So here's what you're going to get. Live power coaching sessions with me. Live, no recordings, every week. Every week I jump right on here in my office, webcam, okay? Maybe the Rush Limbaugh look, maybe not, with my microphone, to be able to take on a principle with that commitment of moving beyond I get it, so that we can make sure that the dominoes continue to fall, okay? So important. Every single week. You also have exclusive access to those archives, because every single power session call every week that I do, they're every Tuesday at noon Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and every single one is recorded and archived into an online portal for you to access anytime you want. If you join the power sessions today, you could go back and look at the last year of power sessions, because they continue to evolve. They're always different. You ask anyone that's been in there with me for a couple days, there's a couple years that have created incredible success. They're always different. That's a $1,200 a year value. Pretty awesome. Disposable income. Now, think about this for a sec, okay? I want you to wrap your head around this. All of us have disposable income. Now, some of us may not realize this. We're looking for more disposable income, but most people get their paycheck. They get the revenue that they generate each month and whatever the case is, and a percentage of that goes towards things that we don't have to have. This has been true of, I'm pretty sure, every person I've worked with, every person that I've met. Money goes towards things that they don't really have to survive. Movies, candy, magazines, coffee, going out to dinner, date, whatever. It's not stuff that's absolutely necessary for survival. I'm not going to ask you to go into debt for this. I'm not setting you up for anything, okay? So hang in there. You're going to like this. What I'm asking you to do is take some of that disposable income, a portion of what you're going to spend on stuff you don't need, movies, going out to dinner. I'm not saying don't do that. I can't live like that. I'm not going to ask you to live like that. I'm just saying take some of it. You would be surprised. Some of us have actually done this and looked at what we're spending on what our disposable income balance every month actually is that we're debiting from our accounts, and it usually 90% of people it's more than a little. It's very surprising. So I'm asking you to take a part of that, and instead of blowing it on something temporary that you don't get to keep, I'm asking you to make an investment in yourself, because money you put into this is ultimately going to turn into more money for you. What I've learned over the years is that wealthy people, and we've heard this, ask different questions. Because too many people are thinking about, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? It's thinking about, what is this going to allow me to become? What is this going to allow me to create? What is this going to lead to on such a deeper level? Because you can ask, how much does it cost? Because people asking that are buying cars and buying boats. And they buy those things to put money in, and it disappears. But what wealthy people do is they put their money into investments. They actually turn their money into something that will work for them. All I'm doing is asking you here to divert some of your disposable income into an investment in yourself and your future, as opposed to something that's going to cause money to move away from you. If we can agree upon that, then that's where we want to start. We want money to move towards us, not money to move away from us. Okay? It's your choice. You can continue to support the habits that move it away from you, or it's time to dive in and have it moving towards you. In addition to the power sessions, I'm going to give you the 10 scrolls narrated by Mandino himself. This is a $49 value. You get these available for you to download, to be able to read, to be able to take these on. I'm going to include this audio program as a bonus when you get started today. Now, if you only got that, talking about the power of the 10 scrolls, it'd be worth it. It absolutely would. Because if all you did was follow the 10 scrolls for 30 days, I mean, mind-blowing success stories from people who have really used these scrolls. They are built in the language of habits. That's what it's all about. And taking that and being able to, if you only got that piece alone, it'd be worth the entire investment. The scrolls and the accountability to make sure that you stick with them and know which ones to go for first and how to study them for where you're at in your life, in your particular business. If that's all we gave you, it'd still be worth it. But you're getting something even more, okay? So here's what you're going to get. Let's review this. Live power coaching sessions with me every week. It's a $1,200 value. I'm also going to give you, and I'm not kidding, a habit finder measuring your thoughts custom one-on-one results session. That's a mouthful, but it is a coaching session. It is a one-on-one coaching session with a certified Mandino senior coach to be able to measure your thoughts, find your habits, build a custom plan for your results. That's a $300 value that you get as a part of this, just at no additional cost. And the bonus of the 10 scrolls. Bonus number 2, okay, is lifetime access to the Habits Finder results. To be able to, as you go to find your habits in the intentional creation assessment, you get lifetime access to be able to log back in there, to be able to review your results at any time. And as I recommend about every 6 months, go back in and take a new assessment to find the new habits that are driving you in your life so that you can support the ones that will take you to the next level, because there's always a next level, and be able to root out the ones that may have been creeping in that are sabotaging your ability to do so, and to find that consistency of what you're doing. That's a $199 value right there. Replacing old habits is essential. I want to ask you guys a question, okay? So you've probably been on these kinds of webinars in the past. I get it. You get excited, you get fired up, and then what happens the next day? For a lot of us, nothing, okay? And as we consider that, it's sad because I just showed you guys the system that I'm using right now to move clients to the next level. What's actually working, what's actually making a difference. The reason why is because the reason that things aren't changing and we go back to what we did tomorrow is because of old habits. They are hard to break. And we keep consciously playing an unfair game against a far more formidable force without the tools and weapons to be able to show up and win. The only way you're going to be successful is to figure out the way to change your habits right now. The way you're going to break that habit is by investing in yourself and move to the next level. I can come here and I can help you and give you all the tools you need to manage your habits so you can become successful. But if you don't do that, you're going to slide back into your old exact habits. Everything we did for the last, 55 minutes will be completely useless because you'll go back to, yeah, I get it. Or whatever, write it off. And every one of you have every right to do that. That's completely up to you. And you can be right about it too. You can rationalize and justify it. My favorite quotes from my father is, you can be right or you can be rich, though. It may be time to finally take this on because, as you know, habits are key. The only way to change is make an investment in you. Get the live power coaching sessions, which is a $1,200 value, a complete coaching session. This session is normally $300, and that's even a discounted rate for a going coaching session. But this is our starter session that dives so deep into everything and builds a custom plan for you and creating the results that you're looking for. And the bonus of the 10 scrolls and lifetime access to your results to be able to continue to find your habits, to be able to continue to come back and see the new things and the shifts and what's going on. Information alone, it's not going to get it done. For the last hour, we've shared a ton of information. You know, information alone, it's not going to save you. You're going to want this coaching program because it's what's going to help you get to the next level with your business. I'm watching person after person, email after email, experience after experience of people in the Power Session Coaching Program creating phenomenal results. Candidly, ones I wasn't sure were possible in that kind of environment without it being one-on-one. And it's amazing. When you start one-on-one and then go into it, it's incredible. Bonus number 3, breaking out of your comfort zone. I don't know what it is, but we run into so many entrepreneurs that boundaries and what's comfortable is really difficult for them to grab onto, really difficult to be able to take on. And so we're going to include that, a $299 value as a part of this offer tonight as well. Okay? So you can have money, you can have excuses. We've heard a lot of this before. This was my lesson of a lifetime. I'll never forget, okay, exactly where I was sitting, exactly what I felt when I learned this. And those of you who have been there know what I'm talking about. One of those times that you'll never forget, okay? They're indelibly printed on your heart. Well, one of my mentors asked, what's the opposite of results? And of course, being the super smart person I am, I jumped right out and said, nothing. Nothing is the opposite of results. Well, as you probably guessed, I was wrong. The opposite of results is reasons. I've never forgotten that. Every time since, when I hear someone coming up with excuses or reasons, I realize that every time it's because they don't have results. So right now you've got 2 options. Option 1 is you can sign up now and you can really start the process of results in your life, transform your income. We can open the doors of everything that comes after the commitment and the awareness and the executable awareness of these secrets to be able to start back at the trailhead and get on a path that actually allows you to ascend, to reach higher climates and greater altitude in your income and in your life. Number 2, you can come up with some reasons why you couldn't afford it, or why this webinar was too long, or why Paul bugged me, or whatever. Don't have enough time. Whatever your reason is today, that's fine. But the reality is you can't have both. You've got to decide right now which one you want. Because we're giving you all of this. That's a pretty mondo phenomenal package to lay out in terms of being able to take this to the next level. The results that this has created, unreal. Getting emails from clients that showed up just a little differently because of something we talked about. And it ended up meaning thousands of dollars to them just in that week. Tens of thousands of dollars over the months. Being able to do things that they wanted to believe were possible, but really, they were really honest. They didn't think were possible. And it's time to take that on. It's us versus them. Okay? It's time to rally. Because there are 2 kinds of people that show up on these webinars. First one's the timid, nervous guy or gal and gets on here and they think it's really cool. It makes sense and they want to do it. But they just don't take action. They wait for the next opportunity to feel like this again, as if that's what's going to solve the problem. I don't know about you, but I love those people, but I don't like to work with them. It's not fair because those people are probably never going to be successful, at least not the way that they want to be. And the people I like are the people like us. They get on this webinar, they hear it, they understand it, and they step up and they want to produce, and boom, they come out here and they get results and make things happen. So I'm going to ask you guys, what are you? Are you the guy on the left? Are you the guy on the right? This guy will probably get tired and hang up on the webinar right now if they haven't already done so, the one on the left. I don't want to make you feel guiltier than you already do, but if you're ready to take some massive action in your life, do some cool stuff and change your life for the better. If you want to join us, okay, this is what we're going to do. Come sign up right now. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye to excuses. Goodbye to procrastination. Goodbye to reasons. All you guys have been trying to say goodbye to the bad habits that have been holding you back and embrace and utilize great habits. I want you right now, say it. Say goodbye. If you've got sleeping kids, say it quietly, goodbye. If you don't, scream it from the rooftops, goodbye. Goodbye, things that have been plaguing my success in my life for far too long. No longer will failure be my reward. The bruises of failure, the wounds of mediocrity. It's time to say goodbye because you bought. You invested in yourself. If you don't, there's only so much I can do in a 1-hour webinar. Please understand my limitations. If in an hour I could get it that deep and make that big of a difference, I would, but I can't. And anyone who says they can is garbage. It's not going to stick. It's not going to get you to that perpetual, consistent growth that'll get the success that you're looking for. So here's my guarantee. If you really embrace this and use it, really commit to this and take it on, this power session coaching program doesn't help you with exactly how to make more money doing what you love and bring guaranteed business success. I'll refund your money. I'm not going to grill you about it. I'm not going to force you to stay in or anything like that. No questions asked. Absolutely. Totally fair and safe to be able to give you that kind of opportunity. The truth is, I'm no more special than anyone else on this call. I can't leap buildings in a, you get the point. I'm not Superman. I don't consider myself to have any special powers, but I can't spin straw into gold. And I mean, you name it. It's just not me. I can't reach success by myself. And that was a lesson that I learned a long time ago, an important one. I don't know how to sit back and embrace mediocrity, though. Things don't just happen. It just doesn't happen that way. Things just don't magically manifest into our lives. I spent years of trial and error and pain to discover these things that work super, super easy, naturally, when we put in the commitment up front, when we take the time to get that deep and to make sure that the dominoes are in the right alignment to continue to knock each other over. I've invested tens of thousands, over $100,000 in coaching and mentors to help me get where I am. And you can either go and do it the hard way. It's going to be hard either way, by the way. And go figure it out by yourself. Or you can do what I did, because it was hard. But without the mentors, it wouldn't have been possible. Wouldn't be where I am today. I decided to plug in. And it works. It's awesome. So again, quick reminder. You're getting live power coaching sessions with me every single week. You're getting a one-on-one, personal, not a group, personal coaching session. Access to online resources. Greatest Secrets of Success online masterclass. Exclusive access to new content before it's released to the public. All this awesome stuff, plus this total value and these bonuses. Unbelievable. Get started now with your coaching program for just $129 for 3 months. I'm going to give you 3 months for $129. This is usually a $500 enrollment fee, $99 a month. Okay? If you called our office today and said, I want to get into the Power Session coaching program, that'd be great. How would you like to cover the $499 enrollment fee and the $99 a month? And today I'm giving you 90 days and everything I just listed, the coaching session, the online portal, all the extra bonuses for $129. And once I've proven that to you in less than 90 days, you just stay on for $49 a month, half the tuition to stay on, waiving the enrollment fee, knocking your tuition down and keeping it there, even after the 90 days you get for only $129. Seriously, the choices that you're facing right now this could be the day. This could be the day you go, yep, that's when I chose. Because this is the way it is. I had 2 choices when I was putting together this package. The first choice was I could make it really cheap, charge like $29, and everyone could afford it, and we could sell tons of people in theory. Everyone would have access to it. That was one option, okay? But the problem with just that one option is that I can't put in the time, I can't put in the effort or the resources to really serve you. So instead of selling 10,000 people $97, what I decided to do is to help you, because I wanted to give you more personal attention. I decided to charge more. I decided to charge, the way it justifies me spending more time and more effort into these sessions. I'm guessing for most of you watching, you'd probably rather have a little more effort from me, right? And holding you accountable and digging you into these things that are going to allow you to rely on the foundation of your habits. That's why I decided to charge more than $10 or $20 or whatever. So the choice right now is basically you've got two choices. Choice number one is you can go invest, you can get started. And the next 30 days from now, you can see the results of an entire system up and running and make more money. Choice number two, you can end this webinar right now. You can go to bed tonight, tomorrow wake up and do the exact same thing you're doing right now. So again, these are the things you get. Because I want to prove to you what's possible. And I can't think of a better way to make that happen than what we're offering tonight. Getting started with the Power Session Coaching Program for $129. And I realize for a lot of us, that's not chump change. That's carving out some strategic disposable income on stuff we would have blown otherwise. And after that, to keep you in, to continue to deliver that value, your $99 a month tuition will be cut in half as long as you want to stay with us. I have clients that come into this who can never make a live session and told me, I'm not sure I can do the Tuesdays at noon, and I'm really a live session kind of person. But then they started watching even the recordings, and we're like, wow, this for that much? Are you kidding me? And I've stuck with it. If like it says right there, if you're not ecstatic for this, okay, in your first 90 days, you can cancel anytime. augmandino.com/webinar. Because you've got now and you've got later. Right now, you have no idea how to get past what you continue to run into, even though cognitively, your conscious awareness, it keeps making sense how to get past it. But why do we keep finding ourselves back at square one? The money or how this is going to work, but later you invest in yourself, you make the decision, you do it. It's funny how all of a sudden, all of those problems that felt like running into that glass wall, they evaporate. And you can concentrate on getting what's next, increasing your income. That's the power of power sessions. That's what we're focused on. So get started. $129, one payment, 90 days of power sessions, then just $49 a month after that, with a free coaching, a coaching session that at no additional cost with one of my certified coaches to get you a custom plan of what habits you're going to want to focus on through these power sessions to make it as concentrated, custom, and personal as possible to create your success. augmandino.com/webinar. All right. Turn my webcam back on. All right, I'm back. Okay. So, like I promised, I'll stick around for questions. Okay. I'll give you an opportunity to be able to ask anything you'd like. But everybody gets an opportunity to take advantage of this. I love this because it's right here. You and me every week. For that. Really? For what I can teach you for that. Because I get it. $129 it's not a no-brainer for everybody. $49 a month when you go back evaluating your disposable income. Oh, we could get rid of that $49 a month and spend it on something else. It's not an easy level to maintain, but for what I can deliver to you for that, it's light years ahead in terms of that kind of success. Someone asked what happens after the 3 months. Then it just turns into a monthly bill. $49 a month is your tuition. Cancel at any time to continue to just take on the power sessions. $49 a month. That's it. Okay. Charlene says, can't wait to get started. Awesome. Working with one of our coaches. Awesome. Yes, Charlene's in in our power sessions, so she can attest to a lot of the impact that this makes and what it's doing. And she's really taken on those first two secrets and started to create great things for herself. And now it's time to take it that much deeper. Charlene's taking on one of our coaches one-on-one. That's so exciting. That's awesome. Let's see here. A couple people early on were saying my screen hasn't gone past the first slide. I'm really hoping that changed as time went on, because there were a lot of slides that I went through. So I'm really praying that changes. Are the slides supposed to roll? I really hope so. What's next? They're great. Let me see if I can figure out which direction these chats are going. I think they're up here. Was this recorded? Yes. Yes, it was. How does this work if we want to do this as a couple? Great question. Don't tell anyone, but as long as you both share the same access point for the power sessions, you can do it as a couple. So go ahead and go to augmandino.com/webinar. Sign up. Just pick whichever one of you wants to handle the email reminders, kind of wants to be in charge of the access points for the email and the name on registration. But as long as you both use the same access point, meaning you're together as much as possible for logging into the webinar, because you get a unique link just for you. I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna nickel and dime you for each of you doing that. Okay. So the slides never changed. That's awesome. Wow. Well, I'm glad as many of you as possible hung in there, regardless of staring at the same thing for an hour. Gotta love that. But that's, it's part of the learning process. So, but please take an opportunity to be able to get through augmandino.com/webinar. So interested in attending these webinars, but not if they are similar. Karen, if you're talking about power sessions being similar to this, very much focused on coaching principles, things that we have time to be able to dig in and build upon. For a one-time presentation, the secrets that we shared, again, it all, for a big part of you, is how you're taking those things through. If that wasn't enough for you to be able to make a shift tonight, then there might be some more work that we need to focus on, but the power sessions are certainly a great place to go through those. Do you plan on covering the rest of the slides of PowerPoint presentation? See if I can get back up here. Talk soon, can't wait. They didn't move. That's so frustrating. Sorry about that. It only stayed on the first slide. So sorry. We'll figure out why that didn't happen, because I was sitting here looking at my screen as it progressed through each slide. So want to do it as a couple. Yes, it was recorded. Great talk. Looking forward to our appointment. Got it. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thanks everyone for being on here today. Hopefully you can take an opportunity to be able to jump on augmandino.com/webinar, and we look forward to having everybody join us in the power sessions. Very excited. So this is different than the power sessions. This was a webinar, a web online class to talk about starting to reveal our habits. And we covered the two top secrets to being able to change that trailhead that we're at on our journey, and being able to shift that, and then making sure that everyone who took the time to show up here today that isn't already a part of the power sessions gets a impeccable deal to be able to join us. Started with a coach. Got it. Ray, if you can email me and reach out to me. Ray, shoot me an email talking about some challenges with illness and stuff, and I'd love to connect with you and talk with you a little bit more about that. How many people are usually on the group coaching session, on the power sessions? It really varies from week to week, depending on people there. I know a lot of people that count on the recordings, anywhere from 40 to over 100. There are a lot of people that like to be observers, but those of you who like to dig in and interact with me, as we do throughout and primarily at the end of the power sessions for the interaction and Q&A, and even bringing people off mute to chat about it, then that's definitely a decent number for us to be able to handle. I just got someone who chatted in with me an error for the website, so let me double check it. Okay. Came up for me when I put www.augmandino.com/webinar. So hopefully that helps. I just saw your computer screen. Yep. Sorry. Awesome. Thanks to our personal coach. We've gotten a new appreciation for the power sessions. Can't wait till next week. Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Page not found error. Crystal, hopefully you were able to type it in. Email me if for any reason you have any problems. I'll try to email you back a link to be able to do that. Lena, love the power sessions. Got onto the website, then how to register. There should be a join the power sessions button as you scroll down. Page is not working. That's Crystal again. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff. How many people are usually on the group coaching session? We covered that. Okay. Awesome. Looks like good things. How would the coaching work for a couple with different careers but similar goals? Ooh, that's what's really fun about diving into the principles we talk about, because I've got people in so many different industries, people that are entrepreneurs. I've got people that are working in corporate America on these power sessions, and I take that into mind because that's the beauty of teaching habit-based training, habit-based leadership, habit-based growth, because habits are built in intrinsic principles, infinite application. So regardless of the industry and other things you're in, get an opportunity to be able to do that. Sure. Karen, I just saw your chat come through. Shoot me an email, paul@augmandino.com, for us to be able to connect and be able to talk a little bit more. I am out with some medical stuff starting tomorrow morning for the rest of the week. I'm going to be fine, but it'd be a rough end of the week for me. But you and I can connect as early as early next week, or even be able to go to, I can connect you with Mandy as well, because I completely understand what you're talking about. I talked about some things tonight that resonates with a lot of people, but I'm the first to admit it doesn't resonate with everyone. But that doesn't mean that this still couldn't be a tremendous value for you. So Karen, I'd love to connect. Oh, Crystal just chatted and it finally worked. Yay. Okay, good. Love the fact that we can go back and listen to the power sessions. Louis said, which is, that's a huge part of it, being able to have those archived so that your life doesn't have to be every week as crazy as our lives are as entrepreneurs, wrapped all around that. So I like the fact that we get to go back. How would the coaching work for a couple? Okay, good. Just making sure I'm getting these covered. Good luck. Prayers. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. And you're very welcome. Finally worked. A lot of people on here that are already in them and were in them for part of the power sessions can definitely attest to the value there. Very cool. Well, looks like things are dying down. Thanks everybody for joining us again. My tremendous apologies for the slides not going through. We'll try and get that figured out and solved in terms of the replay, if there's any way for us to possibly do that. See if I can't work a miracle between now and the recorded session. But regardless, thanks again, everybody. Tons of love to everybody out there. Appreciate you taking the time to be on here, and hope we get the opportunity to serve you in any way possible. Take care.